How's it going, people? Welcome to this week's edition of The Locker Room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. Packed house here, and we have representative from Chelsea, Ali G returns, Omar Kasaga, coach, representing the Arsenal, and of course, one man Musem there, as you can see, praying for his United team and ready to give us his views on whether Erik Ten Hag has managed to survive until the end of the season. And we'll get into it right after this.
Bukayo Saka! Anthony! Salah! Beautiful from Aubameyang! Bang! There goes Haaland. He's on it.
Brilliant. Welcome if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. Matthew is the name. And like I mentioned, packed house in here and fantastic set of results to get into from the weekend's action. And we will give Mr. Ali G some honor and actually kick off with the result at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea, did not necessarily get 3 points, but they were in fighting mode in a draw that saw them at least avoid defeat at Stamford Bridge. They expect a win every weekend. Ali G is always expecting a hat trick from Cole Palmer every weekend. But Ali G, tell us. This result should have been a walk in the park, not so. And as you can see in the background, in the stands, in the background, all those in the crowd, those are Chelsea players, the guys who are on the bench. Now tell us, tell us, what was your take on the game, Ali?
So this game, this is against the Nottingham Forest side that we always struggle with. We are a draw could be. It's not something that it wasn't so bad because it was, Chelsea has already struggled against these low block teams that are sitting behind the entire game. The possession was 67 to 33%. So getting the ball behind that block is something that the coach is trying to work on right now. Chelsea has always had good results against teams that are open, where we are. The game is very open on both sides. Wolves, if we play Tottenham Hotspur anytime the game will be very open. But teams that are sitting there, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, it's a challenge, and I think that's what the manager has to work around to see how we can get the ball behind. We usually rely on Cole Palmer for that key pass, but they marked him the entire game, so. It was very frustrating, but the team is it's gaining. We are rebuilding, and I'm sure there are more positive results that are going to follow after this. We are very hopeful for the season.
Well, I don't know about rebuilding, but these guys certainly came for wrestling, as you can see. Any small thing, the ball just went outside and started fighting.
Forest that was one of their tactics to waste time wasting, fight, yellow cards, and now they find Chelsea. This is the second game that Chelsea has had 6 yellow cards, and they were fined by the FA. But the Chelsea team is still young. Guys, they need to grow. There's need for maturity in the team so that they can be calm. But we're in the process. The guys will get there. We're in the process.
Yeah, and also we shouldn't forget that this is a much improved Nottingham Forest side. Credit has to be given to Nuno. I think they've only dropped points. They've only lost against Fulham this season. They're the only team that went to Anfield and won. So they have that defender Murillo. He's an amazing player. He is a
and they won against Liverpool. The one against Liverpool.
Yeah, they beat Liverpool at
Yeah.
Anfield. It's a very organized team. It's not easy to break down.
Well, I
So
mean,
maybe
go ahead.
a point was good for Chelsea because clearly, when I didn't watch the game. I was watching the highlights. I saw the save Sanchez made to keep you in the game. You could have easily lost it. So yeah, point I think was a fair result. Both keepers were very busy. It was a very open game. So
Interesting. I
credit to
mean,
them.
indeed, 1-1 the final score. That one, of course, Nottingham Forest opening the score there to rattle the fans at Stamford Bridge before Noni Madueke leveled things up for the Blues, and it remained like that till the end. But Chelsea leaving with a point right there. Musem, I see you banning. Do you want to say anything about Chelsea? Cole Palmer has been on fire. In my view, they have unearthed a gem or generation talent. That I'll give you that, Ali G. In what would you say? 15 years, 50 years, 20 years. Arsenal has only managed to unearth Million. You guys have done Hazard and now Cole Palmer. I know he hasn't yet achieved the same, but I mean, if you see the guy playing, if you build a solid team around him, I think you guys you have a starting point. Would you agree, Musem?
Yes, of course, Cole Palmer is very explosive. As in, this is a guy who can come up and score 4 goals in a game. Could have had about 7 in that particular game against Brighton. But to go back to what Coach Kasaga said about Nuno's teams have always been very difficult to beat, actually. If you remember what he did at Wolves was a very difficult team to beat Manu in and out. It would beat Pep in and out. So I think they were very lucky to even get a draw in that game. They set up very well. Nuno is very good at setting up his teams defensively and then playing on the break, get that one goal that he usually needs, and then, defends back. So Chelsea, they are still figuring out a lot of things. They have an explosive Cole Palmer, but their defense is actually very terrible. If they find a team like Spurs that can score goals, yes, they have Cole Palmer, but they can leak as many goals. And then, of course, Colwill is like a boxer. This is the second time he's grabbing a guy by the throat. I don't understand. He grabbed some guy in was it a Carabao game? Some minor team. What's wrong with Colwill? Seriously.
No. Actually, that defense, Colwill is
see,
most stable.
the guy must be here somewhere. Colwill must. Isn't he this one? Is he here?
Musem. Tell me one strong defender who is not a fighter. Ferdinand used to do that. Most of the
No.
You got to ask
Rolls-Royce.
who fights more than that Saliban Gabriel.
Never fight. No.
Usually those defenders are the fighters of the team, and it's good when it builds the character in the team. It's good for the team when they have guys who are going to come and fight for you. Look,
in all fairness,
your money team, those guys used to fight. Vidic used to fight every game. So it's part of the game.
But you never used to fight. You need to have character. You need to be a stable, defender. And in all fairness, he's your best defender. But your defensively is actually very poor. And I think you have games against Arsenal, Liverpool very soon. Let's wait and see when you're playing against the likes of Mo Salah, you're playing against Saka and the likes. Let's see. Your defense is trash, actually.
Yeah, the defense is trash, but those are young kids. Actually, we are playing Liverpool next, and Cole will not play Koziaza. I know it's Fofana that will not be in Koziaza another yellow. But if you compare the two, Fofana and Colwill is, we didn't spend any money on him. Fofana has been more. I think is the fakest in that partnership. Fofana is
the proper loss.
So the defense is a loss. I think we should have. I think we should have kept Thiago Silva for one more year, even if he was very old. He was very stable and he was teaching those guys how to do the job.
So started, man. I'm just seeing Johnny Evans at United. Actually, Man, let's move on. The man was man of the match. You mean now? I mean, United's issues are different, but now that you've started Silva again, boss, the guy couldn't even climb a double-decker bus at the end of the season. He was finished. So let the man retire in peace. But moving on to United's result at Villa Park, Erik Ten Hag hanging on for dear life at Villa Park. 0-0 the final score after over 90 minutes of action in there. And I mean, it was a very, very interesting match right there. Man of the match was not any attacking player, but our man, 36-year-old Johnny Evans. Musem, tell us, how many shots at goal did he have?
I don't know, but
or rather, how many shots did he prevent from? Because apparently his defensive display was quite stellar. But your take on the game, Musem, general?
Not really, but actually, I've been telling people that Aston Villa was lucky because that is a game that we win in and out every season. Actually, even last season, in that particular fixture away to the Villa Park, we won 3-2. Scott McTominay header. So a 1-1 draw was a bad result for Man United, albeit the pressure that the team is under. But I feel that those were 2 drop points for United because that's a game we usually win. And I think last season Aston Villa was a better team in a way because they were not in Europe, they were not playing Champions League. They had just played a very difficult game against Bayern Munich. So they were actually at their weakest, won that game. I know most of the people wanted United to win so that Ten Hag stayed, but Ten Hag is not going anywhere. I don't know why there's a lot of excitement. Ten Hag is not going anywhere because it would mean one thing, that the leadership got it wrong by keeping him in the summer. So if you put the man in the summer and then you give him 8 games,
200 million pounds.
You spent 200 million pounds. You've brought him the players that he told you he wanted. You've given him a chance to be under this new structure in the club, and then you fire him. Who do you bring? Because the people you want are not even available. I think the coach that everybody has been talking about today, I think Tuchel was trending on social media. He's not even ready to come now. So that means you fire Ten Hag, you have a caretaker manager. It's just October, really. What kind of disorganization is that? So the leadership at United has to swallow the pill that they made this decision in the summer. They have to live with this decision until maybe maybe January. And also, if you look at the season ended, United had its worst finish to a season in 8th. They've had their worst beginning to a season in 14th. So literally nothing has changed. The situation is still the same as last season. So why do you panic?
But why change? Why change? First, we want Erik Ten Hag. He's our man. He gives the balance. He gives balance to the Premier League.
Ten Hag is a very good manager. He has worked under very good systems at Ajax, at Bayern. He's a good manager. At some point, players have to take responsibility for some of the things that are not working right. You can't take players off the hook for some of their performances. I mean, look at the things guys are doing. How do you legislate for a captain like Bruno Fernandes getting 2 red cards? What is a manager supposed to do about that? You get a red card, you concede 2 goals against Spurs. I mean, what is Ten Hag supposed to do about that? Players have to take responsibility. Unfortunately, at the end of it all, it's the manager that gets this.
That's the manager's job. That's the manager's job.
Yes, Ali. Okay, you come in on the manager then before I submit.
I don't know why Musem is defending this Erik Ten Hag guy. I don't know. Actually, I'm very surprised that Musem would support this guy.
You want to be dramatic. You want us to come here and cry like you guys. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to fall for you.
It's not about being honest. It's not about being honest. Yeah. Let me tell you, Matthew. this guy is totally out of his depth in Man United.
No, it's
Man
not.
United is a team that has been beginning the season strong. As in, it's totally, how can Solskjaer have better statistics than this guy? This guy came in as he was supposed to come and deliver. This guy is
No.
struggling too much. He's out of his depth. As in,
The guy has delivered 2 trophies.
Yeah, that's his only
Remember-
excuse. He's delivering trophies. United, they want big trophies. They want the Premier League. They want the Champions League.
We
They
want
gave Prince an
trophies.
FA,
We
an
want
FA Cup
trophies.
where he was
Those are
playing
trophies.
drunk
Those are
Man
big
City
trophies.
players. Those Man City players were drunk. They had just won the league. They were celebrating. So I don't know how you can defend the guy you've given all the money to go and spend, and he has brought in Ajax players. Yeah, he
A
has
trophy,
just brought
a
in
trophy.
Ajax
Back line.
players. Yes, he's bringing you Ajax players. The guys are not delivering, and you're having an excuse. He's in charge of the dressing room. There's no mood. If you look at how Rashford is playing, he's just cutting the ball backwards. The guy cannot drive forward. As in, it's the team
So the
chemistry
coaching,
is lost.
Ali G, what you're saying is the
whole
coaching is
chemistry of the
rotten.
team is lost. The guys are suffering. You cannot defend that guy. He's totally out
And
of his depth.
let me bring in Umar here because Ali G mentioned he brought in Ajax players. Basically, he's had 200 million pounds plus, of course, the last 2 years. So that's like what? I'm not sure the exact amount, but he has had the backing of the owners, both old and even the new, currently,
The new.
begrudgingly. He has mentioned he brought in Ajax players, but for this particular game, the starting lineup, the guy dropped the Ajax ballers. I mean, he dropped Lisandro Martinez, he dropped Matthijs de Ligt. It was only Mazraoui and Onana who started. And even in midfield, after Ugarte seemingly starting, he dropped Ugarte and also dropped Casemiro and went with Eriksen. Was that tactical? Is it a lack of faith? This from a manager who is on the ropes. He knows if he lost this game and lost it badly, he was out of the draw. So what does his team selection tell us about?
I like the way he selected his team, honestly, because he had to change something. The last 2 games, they conceded 5 goals? No, 5, actually 6 goals. With the partnership of Delete and Martinez, and Martinez went fullback. So trusting Maguire and Evans, and in my opinion, they delivered well. They protected Onana very well. At least defensive-wise, he got it right. It's just that I don't see any formula of what they're doing, of what Man United is doing. When they get onto pitch, I watch the Wolves game and you can see they're losing, but you can see they have a direction that they're trying to play. You see there's a style that they're trying. With United, I've watched all their games this season. I do not still up to now know what system.
What is going on?
It's like just tells players go on pitch, and if someone just produces some magic, it's okay.
Express yourself.
Exactly. In my opinion, that's what I see when I see United playing. You see Maresca, you can see Ange, you can see style of play in all the top 6 teams. Emery. With United, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to develop it after 3 seasons, but from the beginning, in my opinion, Solskjaer was had a better spread. Yeah, you can see he was trying to do something.
Musem disagrees. Let's bring you in, sir, because we don't see he disagrees with Umar. He's saying Solskjaer did have a better style. Solskjaer had more of a Man U DNA. Actually, let me pull in just a very brief comment here from one of our fans in the virtual audience. Edgar Fungo, greetings, my brother. Sema. Coming in with a comment from TZ. Dar es Salaam, I hope. I'm not sure where you are, Edgar, but I hope everyone in TZ is doing well. Man United fan, thanks for joining in. He says, Man U is no longer. He doesn't even have the energy to finish with the last one. But you can tell that they are no longer doing it for him. But Musem, pulling you in, those in the virtual audience, please feel free to drop your comments. We'll bring you to the discussion. Feel free to subscribe down there. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't. Hit the like and share the content, and we'll be happy to have you participate. Musem, your final take on United. You're not agreeing. with Coach Umar's assessment?
No, I can't agree with it because of course, you know, the only time stats lie is when you see that Solskjaer is better than Mourinho and all those coaches. But to get into the actual coaching styles, Solskjaer was lucky to have been playing at Old Trafford without fans. It was mostly during COVID. And when you pick up many goals that were being scored by that team, it was without the pressure of the fans. Old Trafford is a theater of dreams. When fans are in there, it's very difficult. So I don't really agree with Solskjaer. Yes, scored many goals, but he had no style as well. Then to go back to Ten Hag, if we look at Ten Hag's first season, Ten Hag's team had the best. It had the best defense. We had the most clean sheets. Remember, so Ten Hag
that was De Gea.
Yes, when De Gea was there. So Ten Hag structures his team from defend well, move well from the back, and then go and score. So in that team, we had Varane, Martinez. They were very good defensively. Then last season, all those guys were injured. So it shook up the whole structure. Yes, you can say that this season, you can't understand what Man U is doing. Very true. Even as the fans, we see that. But you know, this man has a method that he has put in place before that has worked. When United was defending very well with the most clean sheets, Rashford scored 30 goals. People are forgetting that, you know, United.
No.
Allow me to say this. United is a team that touches everyone's heart, even the opposition. People just want to jump onto United and be very dramatic and say all these things. Chelsea has gone through the same thing. Nobody cares. That's no
I'm being as objective as possible as a football fan.
This man is a lawyer one.
You know,
why did Erik Ten Hag go and buy players that is keeping on the bench? Yeah? If he has wait, man, help me ask Musem. If Erik Ten Hag knows that wants to play, so why did you guys buy players like Matthias De Ligt that is keeping on the bench? As in, he's bringing in Johnny Evans. So why
these are new players? New players, they have come into
Maguire, man.
So there's so much happening around that even the new players can't fit in very well. But
the new players are also confused.
Yes, if the new players can't fit in very well, is that the definition of a confused manager? If no one understands what he's doing. Yeah?
You heard what Troll Football was saying last week. Eh?
Troll Football is no fun. Troll Football is no fun.
No. The man was not happy. He said Ten Hag said the reason they lost because they played two teams, Tottenham and Hotspur, and it was not fair. But anyway, that was just trolling aside. Jokes aside, Musem, Erik Ten Hag in or Erik Ten Hag out? Give us your version. Does he stay in until the end of the season or in indefinitely?
He stays till the end of the season. You have to be a petulant owner. You have to be a very, very confused owner to give Ten Hag the chance to build a team. And then 7 games in, you want to sack him. You have no assured replacement. Like you're just going to throw the whole, club into turmoil. The media hype, the fan, that is media hype. United is there to make news. Don't fall for it. Be steadfast in your decision. Keep the man. Let him put what he needs to put in place. I mean, United already finished 8th. What's the worst that can happen? So let the season go on, build something, and then we continue.
Okay, Musem, one question for you. What position you give?
You're not the one asking questions. No, you're the one asking questions.
Musem, one question for you. What position you give Erik Ten Hag to finish at the end of the season for him to stay?
You finish top 6.
Top 6?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't see that.
No. You can take this to the bank.
Maybe can get a run of games, but
this is on record.
Yes, top 6.
Top 6. Okay. I mean, the channel is Top 6 Fan TV. Don't feel obligated to use Top 6. But
Mind you, just remind him that the way the table looks.
Hey.
Just remind him that the way the table looks like, the people who are in top 6, there is Aston Villa in 5th. Which guy is on 6th right now? So I don't know whether
let me just highlight this LED, the Chelsea man, you're even out for the table. You guys are really very excited. Anyway, 6 months ago, Chelsea couldn't ask for the table, but now they are demanding.
We are demanding the table now.
Anyway, so top of the table is Liverpool on 18.7 games played. Everyone has played 7 games. Followed by Manchester City, a further point behind on 70 points. Tied in 3rd place is Arsenal, also on 17 points. Chelsea, further few points behind on 14 points in 4th place. They're tied with Aston Villa, who are in 5th, and then Brighton 6th, Newcastle 7th. And you have to keep going on 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. There is Man United. So Man United are in 14th place. But it's only 7 games gone.
Let's see what
happens at the beginning of last season, and they ended up in what, 6th? So I don't see how it's a very strange call that I made.
Strange. Ali G, you should know. Oh, moving on from all things Man United, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to move on to the boys who are doing it. And Umar, I'll bring you in here. Arsenal, a bit wobbly. By the way, the beginning of this game,
very wobbly.
To Southampton, very wobbly. They also made a number of changes, really, in their starting lineup. Besides the defense in midfield, Kai Havertz going into midfield, Jorginho, Declan Rice coming in, Thomas Partey starting at right back as well. We need to mention that there's a little bit of a crisis there at right back with Timber and Ben White injured. But we will see. And then at the front, Bukayo Saka, who of course was man of the match, starting there with Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. Very drab first half, but the second half sprung into life with Southampton scoring that goal and Arsenal fighting back to win 3-1 eventually. Umar, your take on this match. What does this show about the current Arsenal team?
I think it's the worst first half of football I've watched Arsenal playing this season. It was bogus. It was so poor. It showed that our squad players are not up to the same level as some of the teams that we're competing with. I saw Liverpool rotated, Gakpo started, and you saw he was already into the game. As Sterling came in, very poor. Jesus, very poor. The person who tried was probably Jorginho. Surprisingly, Jorginho had a decent game. But the two guys up top they need a lot of work. I know what Arteta is trying to build their confidence, probably by giving them more minutes. But you could see we were not playing Havertz in midfield as well. We just lacked the balance. We were quite ordinary. Yeah, it was so flat. And of late, we've been having so many glitches in defense. So it's an area that probably Arteta should be worried about as well. We're conceding so many simple goals. Not simple goals, okay, but we're not conceding those goals at the beginning of the season. In the last 3 games, last 3 games we've conceded, I think, 5, which is after keeping 3 clean sheets at the beginning of the season. But what I liked about the win is, even if you have not played well and you still win, it shows that you have the grit to go all the way. Even if it's to look for set pieces, to look for any dirty kind of goals. Yeah, he's building a different breed of Arsenal, not the one that we all want the attacking football, but he's giving us wins, getting us wins wherever we can get them. So hopefully when Odegaard comes back, will give us a spark back into life, because clearly we're struggling a lot on the creativity side. But we won, and Bukayo Saka had to lift the team, which is very good, because he has been having a very quiet beginning of the season. To his standards, goal-wise, assist-wise, has been doing amazing. But goal-wise, it's
Goals.
very good to see him back among the goals. We need him. He's a star boy. He's a heartbeat of the team. So we need him to start firing. It was good seeing him scoring and getting 2 assists. Overall, 3 points, 1 point off the top. We continue. And we have a good number of players coming back. Miyasu coming back. So we won't have to play a party again in right back.
Hopefully,
So,
yes, with Tomiyasu
yeah.
coming back and making his
Tomiyasu and Timber coming back, and then White. Hopefully, we'll get back into our defensive football, our dark arts. I don't mind people saying dark arts. I just laugh at them. I was like, my friend, a win is a win. Whether you play beautifully, dark arts, it is a win. They're all 3 points. You don't get a star for playing spectacular football. A win is a win. Win the way you can win. Yeah.
And they're trying to make do without a good number of players in that. Let me just add here that despite Erling Haaland's blitz in the first 7 games in terms of goals, Arsenal are level on goal difference with Manchester City and level on points with Manchester City. And that is very interesting. But Ali G, you have no words about Arsenal for now? Usually,
I don't know. But anyway, Arsenal are supposed to help us break the dominance of Man City, because we are tired of saying Man City. Much as I hate Arsenal, that's on record. I hate Arsenal, but I just don't know why in the summer they didn't break the bank to go and sign people like Nico Williams to come and to reduce the burden on Saka, because I feel Saka is overburdened. He's the heartbeat of the team. He's doing too much. And like I told you even before the podcast, that the squad is very thin. As in, why does Arsenal have to go out there and buy Sterling? As in, I don't feel Sterling is the player that Arsenal needs to lift the league. They need to go and bring guys who are going to bring something, to add something to the team. Because the past 2 seasons, Arsenal
has experience.
by a few.
He has experience. And we have Gabriel Jesus, who can also play.
Look at the 2 guys we're talking about. What has Gabriel Jesus done in the past season?
These are Manchester City title league winners, by the way. We've
got
3-4 times.
He's a Man City reject, and he has even failed to deliver in Arsenal.
Don't make me start singing the Kai. You want me to start singing the Kai Havertz song? If we start talking about rejects. The only guys who are conferred by Chelsea, who got a road deal were my man Museman and United. I mean, Mason Mount is
Even at 5 million pounds, I can't sign you.
Mason Mount, my goodness. Anyway, speaking of rejects, you are finishing your point, Ali.
So anyway, I think like the Arsenal board had to go out there and break the bank and bring in players like Nico Williams, whereby even if Saka gets an injury, these guys can go. Because Arsenal has missed out on the league by just funny games. Again, last time they met Aston Villa. If Arsenal had won against Aston Villa, remember that game last season, they would have won it. So they need to bring players that can add something to the team, players that are going to win the league, not players that are. So I feel like they're still short, because we all know what Man City does. They start the season when you're looking at Man City's the difference and the points now, but we all know every season they start weak, but they finish strong. We know that. You're supposed to pick your points.
This season could be different.
Because at the end of the season, Man City can go 18 games unbeaten and they win it, which Arsenal will not.
When they have Rodri in the side.
But
and we'll get to how they're doing without Rodri, by the way, which is also still impressive. Musem, any words for Arsenal, or rather about Arsenal, before we move on?
Of course, Coach Kasaga said what I picked from Coach Kasaga was like, Arsenal is going to go all the way. I don't know what you're going to use to go all the way. Your dark art, there is nothing that's going to get all the way. That one is not going to happen. However, I feel this is the closest that Arsenal has to go and get that trophy from Man City. Of course, we've just talked about Rodri getting out of the side. He was the glue that kept that team together. Without De Bruyne, Haaland can't score a goal. For those who play
Yes.
FPL, I'm giving you a free tip. Tell Haaland until De Bruyne comes back.
De Bruyne
He
comes
can't
back,
score a goal without De Bruyne. So Gundogan is not going to replace Rodri. We know that for a fact. He's going to be a good piece to have around, but Rodri being out of that team is going to be. We're going to see how Pep reinvents his teams. Of course, he always finds a way. But I felt that this is the closest Arsenal had to push Man City. Then you guys just go and fall apart. Defense, we are putting you in our fantasy teams. You're conceding to Southampton. What is happening?
No.
But we are winning. We are
Are we
winning.
losing games? We are winning.
No. You almost lost that.
Now, why are you so aggressive about your lost points?
You almost dropped points against Leicester squad in the last minute.
Keyword-
Almost
keyword
dropped points
only.
against Southampton squad in the last minute. And you think you're going to push Man City to the? You're going to push Man City to the top.
Can you imagine we are
We
getting?
shall get our wins, whatever we win.
Yes, but can you imagine we are getting a lecture from?
And you need to be serious. Without Odegaard, the team can't create. If Saka had not showed up miraculously, yes, in the previous game, that could have easily been a draw. Your team can't create without Odegaard. That is clear. We know it. That's why you're putting it on Sterling
they'll eventually click.
Those are Trojan horses. They're not going to help you beat Man City. Those are rejects. There's a reason why Pep let Jesus go, because he can't get 15 goals as a striker. Which striker cannot get 15 goals in this day and age? And you think you're going to win the league?
You have some valid points, but whether we score the last minute or not, as long as we score and win, at the end of the day is the result. And the man is trying to...
And the goals are coming from everywhere, from defense, from midfield.
And you're already fumbling to goals.
But you can imagine that lecture. But that lecture is coming from what do you call it? Students of Faggy time. Yeah?
7 games.
You guys,
7 games.
Man United used to pride themselves in winning games late. Now they're here. People are not doing that.
7 games.
You considered only 5 goals.
When you're in 20, the season is about to end, but 7 games
because we have a team that has more injuries than any of yours.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
That's
if
not
we're winning games in
and Chelsea
in gear 1, what will happen when we go to gear 2?
Injuries. Yes.
You may never get to gear 2. That's the problem.
We're going to get there. Once Capi back.
Anyway, as we talk about moving gears, we'll shift the gear to the Man City game at the Etihad. 3-2 the final score versus Fulham. And we're busy talking about the glue that Rodri was and what the potential impact of not having Rodri is going to be on Man City. But Kovacic has stepped up, and the Tinkerman, or should I say the master, yet again, Pep Guardiola, seems to have found a solution for his midfield in the absence of both, not only Rodri, but even Kevin De Bruyne, despite Erling Haaland not scoring. 3-2, the final score. City second, 11 points with Arsenal.
But I think it was a flattering score.
It's a flattering, okay. Umar,
because Adama had 2 clear-cut chances to bury that game in the first half. I don't know what kind of which finishing school he went to.
He was even being coached. Have you seen the clip of Pep Guardiola after the game actually talking to Adama and saying, "Boss, you hit it like this with your leg. Why did you hit like that? You'd have killed us." Yeah. So Umar, you're saying that.
So they're porous. They're very porous, and I would like to interject on the Kovacic thing. Yeah, Kovacic is scoring goals, but I feel when I watched the Man City game, they didn't have control. You see, when they have Rodri and KDB, they have control of the game, the way they pass and what. I felt Fulham was giving them a run for their money in the midfield, and these were funny midfielders that are giving them the Iwobis and Pereiras of this world.
Yes.
Also playing some football at Etihad. This is not that it's an away game. They were home, and they were not convincing. Haaland was AWOL. He brought any creativity. He's as good as any other striker. But good thing they're also finding ways of winning without their players. So it's also a dangerous precedent, because if they're winning right now, when their guys come back,
The guys
they're
come
gonna
back now.
improve. Foden is
Problem.
still hasn't yet picked up as well. He carried them for many games last season, so having him back also fully fit and firing could be the spark that they have been lacking. City is always a favorite. They're always a favorite. I don't. I don't know. We also have to all their team changing have to be perfect. They
Be
have to be
strong, be
perfect.
strong, coach.
Yeah.
That
Liverpool is the one that's impressive, by the way. This is a team to beat.
I hear you on that. But Ali, before we move on, this is your OB, Kovacic. He's
That
seemingly stepping into the shoes of Rodri. Do you feel he has
nah.
the capacity to step into the shoes? And he's also delivering goals, by the way. You could say
He
with a
does
bit
not.
more.
That guy cannot step into Rodri's shoes. Is I can't compare him to Rodri. If you remember the Arsenal and the City game, I think that game got so boring. The number of times that Kovacic was passing the ball sideways. He gets it, he pushes it to the left, pushes it to the right. As in, it cannot make that killer pass through the way the brain can do. He cannot shoot the ball well like the brain. If the brain was in that game, KDB, that Arsenal game would have ended because the guys were a man down. These guys had so much possession, but the ball was just going sideways, and that's what Kovacic does most. And I don't like that about him. Even in Chelsea, he likes passing the ball. He does not go straight. He does not go forward.
But he's scoring
So
goals. How is he scoring goals?
yeah,
Passing sideways.
this. Of course, the goals will come in. You score 3 goals, 4 goals in the entire 20. It's not like Rodri who will give you a goal in a game where you need it so much. Kovacic, these goals will come in, but they're not. You will not rely on him for the goals. The way you can think that okay, Rodri will make it, will strike the ball, he will hit. Kovacic is not a scorer. These goals are just coming in. Yeah, in by luck. So you cannot rely on him to deliver the ball.
It's not
And I
luck.
think
Yes, guys. Chelsea
It's
fans
I'm
can
telling you
get
shooting.
the truth.
also
You
sour
cannot rely on
grapey.
Kovacic. You
This
cannot rely
is
on
sour
Kovacic
grapey.
for goals. You cannot rely on Kovacic for goals. And I'm sure if Rodri is not coming back the whole season, Guardiola, don't be surprised when this guy is going to the market in January and buy another midfielder that can
What
pass
is going to
and can
go?
Zubimendi.
score. Don't be so
This guy
surprised.
is going to go for Zubimendi.
This guy is going to go and bring in someone because you cannot rely on Kovacic. These 2 goals, you cannot see that he's going to do them. You
But
cannot
He
see
you
also scored
potential.
against you guys, by the way. He scored against
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah,
he did. He
yeah,
did, but he will not give you
yeah.
10 goals a season the way KDB
No,
because
but
KDB
no,
is
no,
not
Yeah.
that.
but Ali
Another
is
boombox.
not there for the goals. He's
Hmm?
there to make sure that in terms of midfield, look at the role of Musem. I don't know whether you agree with me on Kovacic's role because Ali seems to
I do not.
look at the
No, I
fact
do
that
not pass with him.
from a goals perspective, he's useless midfield wise. He's passing,
Sideways,
sideways,
sideways, sideways.
sideways. Do you agree with
no,
that?
no. Of course, Rodri's shoes are very big to fill. I mean, this is a
Mm,
guy who
This
plays
midfield.
about 80 games a season uninjured, and we know his record. He's won like 74 of those games. So those are
mm,
very big shoes to fit. And he may not be wrong about Kovacic doing those sideways passes, because then that doesn't give you dominance as a team. Rodri has a way of controlling the tempo of the game, whereby he eventually the team plays fast, then he plays slow, plays fast.
mm,
Everything rotates around Rodri
Because
in control of the Man City
he's a
midfield. So
conductor.
yes, he's the
mm,
conductor. He knows how to orchestrate that team. And then, of course,
Mm,
if you have people like KDB, you have Foden in front of him, definitely then the magic will happen. So Kovacic has very big shoes to fill. I don't think he's going to fill those shoes. The goals, yes, you can be on some run of sorts, and score goals, but it's not that score goals. That team has very many goals in them. Bernardo Silva can score goals. Foden can score goals. Definitely, Haaland will score goals eventually. So his role is to orchestrate that team? How do you control the play of Man City and make them tick? That's what Rodri did better than anyone in the world. So yes, he might need to sign someone in January, but hopefully by then Arsenal has now moved from black arts and martial arts to black magic, and they would have gone above Pep, giving something to chase.
And the 115 charges, at least one of them has come and deducted.
One of them,
at least 10 points.
They want some with those transactional associated party transactional charges, and I think they are doing well to beat some of them. They have a very big low squad, so don't count on those charges. The man will skip his trophies and win some more.
I'm told the guys went to Chelsea and recruited the low squad, man. That's why you see it's a whole bustle. But anyways, moving on, really, City, of course, still remaining strong. To Liverpool's game, they won 1-0 away to Crystal Palace. The ball coming in from Diogo Jota. Crystal Palace proving difficult to penetrate for further goals. But the result enough to keep Liverpool at the top of the league. And some comments here from our virtual audience. Munisa Andrew, Liverpool fan, saying only team that can stop City is Liverpool. Liverpool is winning the Premier League this season. Slot football off to a fantastic start. You can see how excited Liverpool fans are. Eh? They are winning the season.
That's hype.
Eh?
That's just hype.
That's hype.
Yeah, okay.
Their bubble is going to burst.
It will burst.
They're one injury away from performing well. But the good thing is the addition that Arne Slot has added to that team is he has organized them so well defensively. They are very hard to break down as well. I think after Arsenal, I think they should be the second best defensive team in the league at the moment. You don't just score them simple goals. You have to really, really fight. I think they've only conceded 2, unless I'm mistaken. I think they conceded against Wolverhampton. And
just 2.
Yeah, and Nottingham Forest. They are very organized. But I want them to be tested among us with these other big teams, and then we could probably say, but they've really fared well. They control the game. They're no longer playing the rock and roll football. They actually play a very good slow game. They pass. Then when it's time to increase the tempo, they do it. I like what the coach is doing, and he's doing it so quietly with a lot of elegance. I'm a very big admirer already of him. The way I'd never known who he was until, but the brand of football he's playing is amazing. So I think they are very big contenders. I'm not going to agree with Andrew who is saying they're going to win, but I think they are. If they keep their squad fit, but the problem their squad is also very thin. An injury to Salah would be a big blow. To McAllister,
of course, they don't have Jota, the scorer, always gives you an injury every season.
Yeah,
Alisson has gotten an injury. Yeah, so we'll wait and see. But I think Musem looking.
Or even Van Dijk. If Van Dijk gets out of that team, it's going to be in total shambles.
Actually, I think that is the
most important player for him right now.
And as you can see, Andrew is agreeing with you there. It's spot on analysis from Kasaga. He seems to agree we are winning this. Ali G, Liverpool, man, the guy is above you. Are they staying above you? What's your take?
Yeah, man, this guy, they have this midfielder, Gravenberch. That guy has picked up.
Beautiful.
Amazing. It's surprising. Last season, that guy seemed like it was wasted money, but that guy has picked up a form. It's very impressive, and yet McAllister seems to be struggling. Was taken off and he wasn't so happy about the substitution. But this guy has picked up. He seems very solid. Mo Salah seems a bit off. He's not sharp as I don't know why he's starting the season a bit slow. So maybe if they pick up their form towards the end of the season, they may win it because they are picking up points and some of their players have not picked up their form. But I hope they bottle it. They don't win anything because I'm not a big fan of Liverpool either.
But they're a formidable team there, and I mean Musem, I see you looking up. What's up, Liverpool?
No,
Yeah.
of course.
And you know, if they win this one, they what? Are they level with you on most league titles, or they break the record? Something
No, they
like
will be
that.
level, but they will not
They'll be
win, of
level.
course. We have to put in perspective why Klopp left when he left. Klopp was actually, I think, ready to leave the season before, okay? But he had not left some kind of team in place. And I think that's the agreement they had with him to first set up a team before he leaves. So currently, the team Anslot is using is Klopp's team. He has not brought any new players in that team. Cellini, we brought some guy, Chiesa, who can't even, I don't know. But the team he's using is Klopp's team. Klopp left a very firm foundation of a team. And of course, you have to give him credit for, keeping it together and tweaking a few things.
And
One
improving it as well.
defense, you see, Klopp was beginning to get sucked by that British media hype of playing Trent Arnold into midfield, which was just affecting the entire team. He has taken him back to defense, stay solid. We defend, we don't concede, which is okay. And of course, Gravenberch has come in and did many things, but he's yet to play a big team. That is hard to say because he played Man U, but that's a game that always goes either way.
United is not a
But
big team at the moment.
to play. And so we wait and see after his games against Chelsea and Arsenal. Not that he's going to lose them, but that's going to be the test that we need him to get before we start showering all this praise and all that. He's not winning the trophy. That one you can take to the bank. He will not win it.
Okay,
But
you can see a lot of Nugu, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll wait to see what happens. The guy is at the top of the table. Let's wait and see. It's still early days, but
Postecoglou was on top of the table in December last year. How did that end? People can be on top. You can be on top, but there is a machine called Man City that will come and win 15 games, and Anslot and his machine will end up in 6th.
And speaking of Spurs, and moving on to Spurs, actually, the last team. I mean, they went to Brighton's Amex Stadium this weekend, scored 2 goals. 2 goals. Half time ended 2-0. Spurs in charge. Goals coming on from Brennan Johnson, who has been on fire, and James Maddison with that celebration. But what happened in the second half? The return, or the comeback, I should say, from Brighton was quite resounding. Minted, Jorginho Rota, their striker, and Welbeck coming in to seal an impressive victory for Brighton. I mean, I left this match at halftime saying, this one is done. Spurs are going to give these guys like another 2. And finally, it was a problem. So Spurs were being Spursy. Ali G, I think Spurs only enjoy playing Chelsea because what kind of collapse is this?
But they enjoy playing Chelsea. For us, we beat Spurs home and away all the time. You must be referring to United. For us, we beat Spurs a lot. Actually, their stadium is called. How was John Terry referring to it?
3-point lane.
Yeah, 3-point lane. That's how the former Chelsea fans used to refer to it. 3-point lane. But anyway, I watched this game and I was surprised. Goals just kept coming in like, what's going on here? 2 teams that like playing the high line. So I was like, okay, maybe. It was just shocking. But it shows how messy this Tottenham team is. They seem to be building up front with the new players. Solanke, Madison is good. They have this cool Kuseski guy. But now when they're leaking in at the back, man, this guy is very calamitous also, that defender, Romero. So it's quite I feel sorry for that manager of theirs, man. He said this is when he should be winning something, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
so
guys, put himself under pressure. I think these guys are going to enroll to the Kapunguru Cup at this rate because And
It's quite
they are really
troublesome
finding
at
them out
right now.
defense-wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the way he also sets up his midfield is the biggest problem, in my opinion, because he's playing with one natural midfielder as a holding midfielder. I think he has been playing with Bentancur, and then he's playing Kuleveski in midfield alongside Madison.
Madison,
It's like you're setting up the team to have five attackers.
Five attackers,
Five attackers. As in, so when they attack them, and then on top of that, you're playing a very high line. Because, okay, you have Van der Ven, who is very fast, and Doggy and Pedro can run back. But as in, you just want to attack, you're leading 2-0. Bring in another holding midfielder and then slow the game down. You can't play the same kind of football in second half.
Exactly.
And then by the time now you realize now bringing try and stabilize the midfield, it should have been done as soon as possible. You are away, and if you are home, you can play like that. It's going to work, but you're away. I know Brighton has been having a bad run, but you can't just, you have the Zuma on the bench, you have Pepperson, you have midfielders. It's not that he has a full squad.
Actually, the first half of the season, last season, when they're on fire, they had a solid double pivot consistently.
Yes, double pivot.
Zuma and Pep Matassa. They're very impressive with Madison ahead of them. And then you could alter the other guys,
Kuleveski is not working. I don't understand. Then you're having a useless Vanna on the wing. Why even accommodating him in the team for crying out loud? Put Kuleveski there and add midfield. You can still attack. The team is not balanced. Attacking wise, they're very good. Defensive wise, they're bad. And if you get a team that's going to attack them, if United are going to attack them, they would have put in goal. But I don't know. I think it's going to change. Unless it's naive.
Good. I see you're giving some credit to United. If United was going to attack them, now the problem is United are not the point of reference here. But anyways, we will leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. Gentlemen, Ali G, Chelsea man, Coach Umar, Arsenal man, and our man Musem from United. You can see he's thinking about the 3 points after the international break. Be strong, my brother. United will come back, but Ten Hag, Let's keep Ten Hag in your prayers.
The man looks bored of the season already. He wants to start a fresh one. He wants to.
It's still early. My guys can come back.
About Spurs, why can even be talked about on the show. What do they play for? What do they ever win? Beating United is their title. That's why I'm bored. Like, we can't end the show on Spurs. These are non-starters. Like,
we're saying that, but the problem is United right now are a bit Spursy at the moment.
No.
So we need United to come out.
Even in his worst state, we had a trophy.
Honestly, I'm surprised to hear that Musem is Erik tagged in. Seriously, I'm surprised. I thought it's one of the guys who would be saying out.
You want hype, but we'll not give it to you. We are steady.
Seriously.
He has given multiple reasons why he's supporting Ten Hag, and he has a point as well. Team needs stability.
He has given his results, and we have to leave it at that. The banter will continue beyond this. Thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Do feel free to hit that subscribe button, drop a like. As you can hear, our conversation is going to go on even after the show ends, because United is the talk of town. Erik Ten Hag, the movie star in that movie, but we will pray for better results for them. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen. The international break is coming. We'll be up for a couple of weeks as well, but we will be back with the Premier League action when it returns. Have a great week. Take care.